Hi there, Mouseketeers! PrincessMinnie here, and I'm bringing you my November pin board. This is going to be the final video in November. It's a little bonus video for you. And I was really torn about when to put this video up because if you remember my last pin board video for Halloween, I said that my next one was going to be John and Kate themed. And the reason why is because December 1st is actually our wedding anniversary. So this is a John and Kate themed pin board that I'm going to show you today. But I really was like, should I put this up December 1st or should I actually put it in November? So I kind of figured just putting it here the last day of November bridged the gap. Plus I totally didn't have time to change the shelves behind me, which I really wanted to do for Vlogmas, so I wasn't quite ready to start Vlogmas just yet. I am going to try to make this a little bit quick. I have like, I could probably tell you guys like a zillion and a half stories about John and I. But I do want to have like a little disclaimer. Well, first I want to say I want to make this quick because it is Thanksgiving and we have to go in like 30 minutes, but I wanted to get this filmed so I could definitely get it up because we're actually going away right after Thanksgiving for a weekend, long weekend for our anniversary, so I'm afraid that I wouldn't have this, be able to have this filmed if I didn't do it today. A little disclaimer. If you don't like pins or pin boards, you're not going to like this video. If you don't like John or I, you're not going to like this video. If you don't like love, you're not going to like this video. And if you don't like seeing pictures of people and their families and their lives, you're not going to like this video. The good news is, if you like all of those things, you're really going to like this video, and I think that you guys will. Not to brag, humble brag maybe, but not to brag, but a few people have said in the comments when John and I are in a video together that we're like couple goals, and honestly that is so cute and it really makes us both smile, and I mean we love each other so much. So December 1st 2018 we will have been married for 6 years. And I hope you don't get too tired of us because we're going to be coming to you a lot. And in January, we're actually having like our dating anniversary, and it's a pretty big milestone. So you're going to see more pictures of us then. So if you like this, let me know. If you don't, then, you know, move along to your next video, friends. There are between 40 and 50 pins on this board. It kind of doesn't look like it because there's so many pictures. But let me give you a huge overview of this, and then we're going to get into dissecting it. So here it is in all of its glory. You can see the sheen from the photographs. There are so many photographs on this board, a bunch from our wedding, but a bunch from other things that I'll go into as well. There is also a sticker set, there's an art card, and then a ton of pins. And I can't wait to explain all of these to you guys. It's a good thing my pin board is enormous, isn't it? Okay friends, it's time to flip that camera around and take a look at my November 2018 John and Kate anniversary themed pin board. Okay, so here is an overview of the entire board, and you can see there are so many pictures on it. And I don't even know where to start. I think we're going to kind of start in the middle, because as we go in, you're going to see one of our wedding photos. And so obviously it's John and I in the center. Don't we look so much younger? He has no beard. Like, it's just crazy. And then right here, that's my mom. That's my grandmother, and that's my grandfather who walked me down the aisle. Unfortunately, he is no longer with us, which is absolutely devastating to me on a daily basis. And I'm so happy that I had him walk me down the aisle. This is John's mom, the most amazing mother-in-law and then father-in-law also in the world. And of course that is John's dad right there. And this is the childhood church that I grew up in. Now, holding this picture together, we have a set of pins. And I believe these are just open edition pins that I traded someone for. So you have this really pretty Mrs. pin with the mini ear hat and a really nice lace detail. And if we go over to the other side, of course you have the Mr. pin, and it's the groom's hat with the Mickey ears and a little bow tie and a really nice little frame. So that's what's holding one of our wedding pictures together. And I just wanted to point out, I also put this Tinkerbell pin right here to also hold it up. It says where dreams come true. And honestly, this is going to sound so cheesy, but if you don't like cheesiness, now's the time to get out, because That's just how John makes me feel. He really makes me feel like my dreams come true before I can even really have them. I always tell him, you never let me have any dreams because you're always just making them come true right away. And that is a true story, folks. Now that I think is the only pin from like right after we got married. The rest of them are all from our wedding reception. So why don't we make our way over to one of those? So on the way, we of course have to pay homage to Mickey and Minnie, and this is a sticker set that I've hung up with 2 of the donut shop pins, not donut shop, but the donut mystery bag pins of Mickey and Minnie, and it says we all deserve our own happily ever after, and then you have the ear hats and like their shorts and skirt, and so I just wanted to kind of pay tribute a little bit to the original Disney couple. And over here on this side is one of my favorite pictures of John and I ever. We had a Christmas theme to our wedding. There was a beautiful Christmas tree in the lobby, and we just got this picture, and I've held it up with, of course, this cutie Mickey and cutie Minnie from the cutie set. And so I know I always like seeing like people's wedding pictures and like their wedding jewelry and their wedding dresses and stuff, so there's a little picture for you guys. Moving down, I kind of just wanted to keep with like the red theme for this corner. You can kind of see it's a lot of black and red because of the Mickey and Minnie homage. But going in from the Chinese Zodiac mystery set, I have John and I's years, and I'm the year of the snake and John is the year of the dragon, which is perfect. I mean, he loves Mushu. I love Mushu. I couldn't really care less about Ka from the Jungle Book, but I always thought the snake was a pretty cool year to be as well. Let's move down a little bit. We're going to back off from our wedding and we're going to go to this Universal picture. Last year for Thanksgiving, John and I went alone to Universal Studios and just had the most absolutely amazing time. This is a selfie I took of us in front of the Universal Ball. And it was a little bit difficult to get, I'm not gonna lie. But he is just my best friend and we always love hanging out together. So I did put these best friend mystery box pins together. John totally reminds me of sadness. I'm a little bit less joy than I am disgust, but since joy and sadness are the best friends from that set, I did pick them. And then I had to pick this Thumper and Bambi pin from the best friends set because that's like on a daily basis what John and I look like. Me being Thumper and him being like calm Bambi, and me being like, I need attention, I need your attention, I need your attention right now, let's go. It works for us. And then over here, I just put 2 of the Lunchbox series. I've been collecting the entire series. And these are 2 movies John and I love to watch together. We both love Wreck-It Ralph and we both love Ratatouille. So let's open these bad boys up and see what's inside. So inside the Wreck-It Ralph lunchbox, you have just all this candy, which we don't eat. And you have the You're My Hero cookie that Vanellope makes for Ralph, and like, John legit is my hero, so that totally fits. Coming down here, sometimes we'll have like a little at-home date night where we'll make steak and open a bottle of wine and we'll watch Ratatouille. And you could just see the super cute inside of this box with cheese. That's another snack we'll often have. And the little chef's hat. I think that's so cute. So that's another perfect one for us. Leaving Universal and going back to Disney, I have one of my favorite wedding pictures of John and I from our reception because I am like such a chandelier freak. It's like one of the reasons we picked the venue. And I've held that picture down with 3 of the Disney-owned hotels that we've stayed at when we've been to Disney. The first time we went together, we stayed at All-Star Movies. The second time, John booked a surprise trip for me, and he booked it at the Pop Century because he knew that's somewhere I really wanted to stay. And then in 2016, we stayed at the French Quarter, which was absolutely amazing. We've also stayed at the Swan, and that's incredible, but they don't have a pin, so couldn't get that. And we've also stayed off-property, which we really enjoy as well. Moving over to the right, we have a very, very small Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit tribute here. I have this really cute art card of them that I got from the website Redbubble. And to the left is a love letter pin set, and I'm going to show you all 3 that I have on this board today. And this pin set came out, I want to say 2016, and it's really, really cute. It's a monthly set, limited edition, 3,000. And this one says, I love you more than anyone has ever loved anyone. And no lie, but that's like almost exactly what John would probably say to me. One time we were actually legit at a friend's wedding, and the friend who was the bride introduced John and I to someone else as the most in love people she ever met. And I thought that was kind of silly to say at your own wedding, but probably true. And John always loved Jessica Rabbit growing up. So one of the first Disney pins I ever bought was this pin of her that says, "I'm not bad, I'm just drawn that way." And so I definitely say that to John all the time. But Roger is so smitten with Jessica, and she loves him just as much in return. So that's a great couple to kind of emulate a little bit. Moving up the board, I'm going to pause here at this Wally and Eve pin. It's the only Wally and Eve pin I have on this board. I really like this movie. I'm not going to say John and I are so much Wally and Eve, but they have such a cute love story, and this is definitely one of my favorite scenes in that love story. And I thought this, no, this is not a slider pin, but it is pin on pin, and this is when he's showing her all his treasures, and she illuminates the light bulb with just her power. And this was a recent Ellie that came out, maybe in the summertime. Back up here, well, I'll just show you this pin really fast. I think this is a scrapper pin that I got online, but I don't really care. It's just a gold image of Jasmine and Aladdin, and this really cute heart. And they're holding up a picture of our wedding cake. I mean, I don't have the whole thing here. It was very classy. The whole venue was Beauty and the Beast inspired, in my opinion. As soon as we walked in, I literally was like, Beauty and the Beast! And that's why we picked that room within our venue. And right after we got married, like literally between the ceremony and the reception, my grandmother, who you saw in the picture above, gave us this Mickey and Minnie ceramic figurine, so we had to make sure we put that on our cake table right away. And flanking that, of course, then I have more Mickey and Minnie pins, especially some heart-shaped pins. I don't know anything about this pin in particular, other than it's very darling, and I feel like you don't often see Mickey and Minnie dressed like anything like this, actually, so I thought this was pretty unique. Then moving up, we have Mickey and Minnie from the couples set. I had to include that one, of course, as well, because it just fits so perfectly with the theme. Here's an open edition Mickey and Minnie wedding pin. It's pin on pin. And Minnie just has a really like old-fashioned looking wedding dress, which I enjoy, and I like seeing their big gloves in this pin too. And this totally reminds me of the arch at the wedding pavilion in Disney at the Grand Floridian, which is absolutely lovely, and you can just visit. I visited it. It's really cool. And finally, moving over, one of the first pins I purchased when I really got into trading was this pin. I think I got it from a live sale. It wasn't expensive. I don't believe it's an Ellie or anything. It's probably just an open edition pin, but I just kind of fell in love with it. It's like a very pop arty representation. And that is like right near where all the other Mickey and Minnie pins are, so I wanted to make sure we kept that theme going. Okay, so if we go back up to our wedding picture, and now we kind of make our way to the right, this picture here, I already showed you the Tinkerbell pin, but this picture is us last year for our 5-year wedding anniversary, and your eyes are not playing tricks on you. I did have blue hair. That is my real hair. That is something that I do every once in a while. It's the only time I did blue, but I've done pink quite a bit. And I really like to color my hair, and John totally supports that, so it's great for us. And so that was our 5-year wedding anniversary, and we had like a whole photo shoot done, and it was really, really fun. And my hair is a little matted down because it actually snowed while we were there, which you will see in a later picture. But I wanted to include this picture for these 2 Stitch emoji pins that are just in a booster set. And like the quality on those pins is not even good, but I don't even care because I included them. They really make me think of John and I's relationship, and all good relationships are really built on love and laughter. I truly believe that. Like, John makes me laugh all the time. We always say this. One time we were watching Say Yes to the Dress, and there was this girl on, and she was talking about how much her fiance made her laugh all the time, and she goes, he makes me laugh like 4 times a day. And she was dead serious, and John and I literally burst out laughing because we were like, we make each other laugh 4 times on the car ride to the grocery store. Like, there is constant laughter in our home, and we both think the other person is like the funniest person that we've ever met. And I think that's so, so, so important, at least in our relationship it is. Moving down, I have another picture from our reception when we were first announced as husband and wife as Mr. and Mrs. Linninger. If you're wondering how to say my last name, it's Linninger. It's German. I'm not German. John is German. I never thought I'd marry someone German, but there you go. And I just like this picture because I think it just shows the happiness on both of our faces. It's not necessarily like the best picture of all time or the most cinematic picture, but we were just so thrilled to finally be married to one another after 7 years of dating. And so, again, from this time from the best friends mystery bag, I included a few mystery friends and best friends. And because we're best friends. In fact, if I ever say that like a girl is my best friend, John's like, no, I'm your best friend. I'm like, well, you're my best friend in a different way. And he's like, no, I'm your best friend. I'm like, okay, you're right. And so I included this Mowgli and Baloo pin because, again, I'm such a hugger, and like that's how you will find John and I all the time, is like hanging on top of one another. I included Pinocchio and Jiminy Cricket because John is truly like my guide in life. People don't believe me, but I always say that one of the things I say all the time is John is always right. And if John tells me something, I don't fight it. I just say he's always right. He just is a very like reasonable person, and I'm a very like crazy person. So I've just started taking his advice pretty much all the time, and it always works out well for me. So he's my little Jiminy Cricket. Moving down, some other best friend pins. I had to include Pooh and Piglet because they just look so snuggly together right there, and I was totally feeling that vibe. Moving down, I included Aladdin and Genie because, again, John is like my magical genie and he makes all my wishes come true, which sounds cheesy, and again, it is cheesy, but it's also true. Then we have Mulan and Mushu, and again, I just feel like Mushu is hysterical, and John is definitely like my sidekick in life, and he'll be the one to tell you too, like I'm the star and he's the sidekick, and he just constantly makes me laugh, and he always has my back. And speaking of having each other's backs, I had to include Mike and Sully because they always have each other's backs. Like I feel like Mike has such an inflated ego, I also do, and Sully just does everything he can to protect that ego and make Mike feel so special and wonderful, and it always works. He's such a good friend. Moving down, I have another picture from our anniversary shoot. You might be able to tell in this one that it is snowing. Definitely one of my favorite pins. This is when John really first started growing his beard, so it's gone from this to what you see now in videos quite quickly, like 1 year. I can't wait to see where we are in a year from now. And then I have that held down by 2 pins from the Asian parks. I can't remember if this is Hong Kong or Tokyo, but it features Donald and Daisy as tourists. Daisy's eating a Mickey premium ice cream bar, and Donald is holding a map, and behind them they're like kind of Mickey shapes and just like park inspired things like a crown, a carousel, Mickey balloon, Space Mountain. Same thing over here. And I had to include those because of all like, John and I are not that like Mickey and Minnie. They're a little too nice to be us. We're very like Donald and Daisy, with John being Daisy, the cool, calm, rational one, and me being Donald, like the hot-headed, dramatic one, really. And then we'll start moving up the board again. So I'm going to start in the corner and then end at the bottom. The couple John and I are most like is really Flynn Rider and Rapunzel, because Flynn's very like charismatic and funny, and Rapunzel is very like creative, and she always has a million hobbies, and so do I. And I feel like Flynn, by the end of the movie at least, really supports Rapunzel, and so I definitely had to include them with this cute little card I have, which kind of to me looks like Beast's castle in the background. But then I had to include one of the only Flynn and Rapunzel pins, maybe the only one right now that I have. I want to start increasing the collection of this couple since they are the most like John and I. And I love that he's all tangled up in her hair. I'm not like allowed to cut my hair short, guys, because John loves it long. So I always have long hair. And I love it too, though. Like, it's not like he's forcing me to do that. Like, it's a joint decision, I suppose. And this is from the couple set as well. Moving over, I have just another iconic Disney couple, probably a lot of people's favorite Disney couple, and it's another one of those 3000 LE love letter sets. And this one has such that pretty pink glittery envelope, and I love that they're in their like formal attire. And this one says, "Our love is as old as time," and has that pretty rose there. And I always feel kind of silly thinking of things like this with John and I, because we were in high school when we got together. We were teenagers. And like, I love like the song At Last by Etta James, but when I belt that out, man, it is just not coming from a real place because I didn't have to wait long to find my Prince Charming. I really didn't. We found each other so young. So thankful for that. Moving down, I have Belle and Beast holding up a picture of John and I from last Christmas. You can see the blue in my hair was finally coming out by Christmas Day. That is not our house, that's John's sister's house. But anyway, so I included Belle and Beast here because, I mean, John's growing that beard, right? He's very beastie, so I had to include that. And these are from the Tsum Tsum Mystery Beauty and the Beast collection. We have then, of course, also Belle and the Beast, which is just one of the most amazing pins. John totally agrees with that, from the couples set. And then, I mean, just another amazing, iconic Disney couple, Cinderella and Prince Charming. I also had to include them down here, one of my recent acquisition pins from the year 2000, limited edition of 10,000, not super limited, but that's okay. I had to include this one because it kind of looks like Cinderella and Prince Charming are in wedding attire, so I definitely wanted to get that one involved. Moving back up this picture, and you may have seen this as I was talking about one of our reception photos. The third and final in this series that I have, I do want to collect this entire series, but it's, you know, it just takes time. I have Eric and Ariel from The Little Mermaid. I forget what, I think this one says something about being part of your world. Oh, it just says you are my world. And yeah, I totally feel that. John and I really don't do anything apart. We are constantly always together. We are definitely each other's worlds. And then another pin I just opened, you probably saw it recently if you've been watching all my videos, Ariel's wedding dress. And it also kind of brings in like her green dress too, so that's just like a lovely pin, isn't it? And then this pin, I've actually opened it twice. I still have the other one because I don't want to trade it away, even though what do I need two of these for, right? But another wedding dress pin of Ariel and Eric, so that's just like my little homage to The Little Mermaid in that collection. I definitely have some great Disney couples on this board. Finally, moving down to the last part of the board, you've already seen the Cinderella pin that's holding up John and I's first dance photo. Knowing us, we had to have something weird, and we had a song by Muse that we danced to, and but it was a cover. It was a cover of Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, but it definitely has like a rock and roll element to it. Like if you have time, go Google or YouTube Muse Can't Take My Eyes Off of You, and at first it sounds like really beautiful and sweet, and then it gets like totally hardcore and rock. It's just, it was so John and I, and we had such a great time dancing to it, except after about 30 seconds the song totally cut out. The music turned off, people. It was a wedding disaster, right? I didn't let anything bother me on my wedding day. I was so not a bridezilla. It probably won't surprise you. I don't think it will. And then the most magical thing happened. Everyone knows that song, you know, like, you're just too good to be true, can't take my eyes off of you. All our guests started singing it, led by one of John's groomsmen, and that was just so special to us, and the music was finally able to come back on, but I didn't even care. Like, it meant so much to me that everyone kind of participated in that moment. So just a few pins left to show you. Holding up this picture, we have the Donald and Daisy donut pins, and again, I've already explained John and I's connection to Donald and Daisy. And just another cute one from the couples set. And the final pin that I wanted to show you is really cool. I got it in a trade. I believe it's an open edition pin, but it's like an older one because you can see it has the Sorcerer's hat in it, which I love. Sorcerer Mickey's hat as the icon of Hollywood Studios. I'm still to this day devastated that it's gone. And it also has, you see the castle down here, the Tree of Life, and an animal, what's that thing called? The car from the Kilimanjaro Safaris, there we go. And Epcot Ball Spaceship Earth. And Mickey and Minnie spin. And I just think that is so precious. And again, it reminds me of John and I, because I've only ever been to Disney. Oh, there's Space Mountain too, yay! I've only ever been to Disney because of John. He got to go when he was a kid, I did not. So he took me, and again, he made my dreams come true. And then finally, there is the board again in all of its glory. We have the kind of the classic Mickey and Minnie Mouse / Red set. We have our Universal, like Best Friends Forever pieces. We have the places we've stayed together. The Roger and Jessica Rabbit part, some more Mickey and Minnie and other couples pieces. We have the Love and Laughter Stitch kind of connection. Then we have the Little Mermaid and the Best Friend mystery bag pieces. Our Donald and Daisy tribute down here. Our Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, and Tangled couple series. Whew. That was a little bit longer than I probably anticipated, but I guess I just have like so many stories. And you guys know that. I hope that you had fun kind of walking through John and I's relationship a little bit and some of these awesome pins that I have to show you. I'd love to hear any comments you have down below. What were pins that you liked on this board? Were they maybe pin series that you're collecting? Are we pin twins at all? And I can't wait to show you my next board. My next board will be Christmas themed because it's going to be December, but then it's going to be January and it's going to be a little bit more of Kate and John because, again, like I said before, we have our dating anniversary. We don't really like celebrate, but we do mention it to each other and we do like mark it a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you joining along with me, and John appreciates it as well. And guys, next time I see you really, really soon, it's gonna be Vlogmas! Yay! I'll see you guys real soon.